Hi everyone, another quick deck flick through for you today. I am talking today about the Karma Tarot, which I hope you will see is a really colourful and interesting tarot. I saw this actually in one of the Facebook groups that I'm in. Somebody had bought it and I was fascinated by it, so I grabbed a copy. Just to give you a bit of information, it does come with a little white book, instructions by the artist and author Birgit Bolin Erfurt. And also in the box there are a couple of information cards which give you information about the artist and about the tarot itself. So it comes from Karma Music. It's Karma Music tarot cards, and these cards give a little bit of information about Karma Music. So it says here, presently Bolin is involved in Karma Music, a multi-track studio and publishing office. Karma Music is an experimental enterprise recording alternative music and publishing poetry and posters. It was created to give unconventional artists an opportunity to express themselves on a large scale. And I believe that a number of the cards in this deck actually feature some of the artists on Karma Music. So quite an interesting deck with very interesting art. And I think you'll see that there are some Rider-Waite and Thoth and Marseille influences in this deck. So again, I haven't had time to study it in great depth. There's lots of information in the little white book, so I'm just going to quickly flick through so that you can see the cards. So we have the Fool and the Juggler, the Wise Woman, the High Priestess. The Empress in this deck is Lilith, and the Emperor is Osiris. That's a very Thoth looking deck, Thoth influenced looking card to me. The Hierophant is the Grand Master. And we have the Lovers, and here we have the Chariot. I love the Chariot. This kind of, I think it might be a rocket powered bathtub that the charioteer is driving in, but I think it could also be some kind of spacecraft. I'm not quite sure what the horses think. Then we have Strength. I love this guy in the background. I'm presuming that he is somebody, or is a representation of somebody that the author knows. Hermit. And Wheel. Justice. Very nature-based justice. Hanged Man. You'll notice the Hanged Man is suspended in air by nothing, not attached to the frame by anything, which I think is rather lovely. Then we have Death card. I love this kind of creature rising from the soil, some kind of phoenix creature, perhaps. Then we have Temperance, the Devil, the Tower, the Eiffel Tower by the looks of it, the Star. Again, I think there's something there of the Thoth star, and of Rider-Waite, and the Moon, wonderful bright sun, Judgment, and the World. So those are the majors. We'll quickly go into the minors, and what you'll see in the minors, and I'm not going to read them all out, I'm just going to go through. What you'll see is that there are faces in here that presumably are, I love this Knight of Swords, presumably are people known to the artist, because some of them seem quite defined images. They don't seem at all impressionistic faces. They do look as though they are of real people. Not all of them, of course. Might even be one or two you recognise. Love the Six of Swords. Six of Swords is a card that I really like, and it's one of these cards that I tend to notice in decks, and I like that one very much. No keywords on these cards, but you do get a very clear sense of what some of them are about. So those are the swords. Now onto the wands. I'm going quite fast, so if you do want to look more closely at any one of these cards, obviously you can pause the video. Now, you'll see on this card, Eight of Wands, that some of the characters, there's the Empress, I think that's the Empress and the Emperor from earlier, and the Tower, the Eiffel Tower. And the Eight of Wands, of course, is the card of motion and movement, and in some decks it has quite a negative connotation because it can also be about falling, but I tend to think about it as upward motion, so I'm not quite sure how this would be interpreted, but certainly something to do with movement again, because you have this chess player moving pieces. Seven of Wands, Six of Wands, perhaps some recognisable faces there. 5, 4, 3, 2, and Ace. So those are our wands, quite large cards as you can see, but pretty nice card stock, not too thick, not too thin, easy to shuffle, although a bit too large for some people's hands, a bit large for my hands actually, but not uncomfortable. King of Wands, Queen of Cups, her cup certainly spilleth over. Knight of Cups, Page of Cups, 10. That is an interesting image, I think. I'm not quite sure what to make of that. I know it's a fan, but that isn't necessarily what I first thought it was when I glanced at it. I think the bird there had the same impression. 9 of Cups, 8, 7, 6, definitely a recognisable face there. 5, 4, 3, 2, and Ace. And finally we're on to the coins. Love this card, and again I can definitely see Thoth influences here, just with the horns and the standing up there with the foliage and so on, so I think there's definitely something of an Aleister Crowley influence here, but there are other influences too, which makes it a lovely multi-layered deck, and I just think the images are so evocative and unusual for a tarot deck. 8 of coins, 7 of coins, 6, 5, 4, another well-known face, 3, 2 of coins, and finally the Ace of Coins. So that is the very enjoyable Karma Tarot.